Hey loved ones, and welcome back to our channel. My name is Antionna Fuller and I am the founder and executive director of Healing Households. We are a 501c3 nonprofit healing families holistically in the name of Jesus. So this is through finances, through parenting, through marriage, and more. So we break generational cycles, we build first generation pioneers, and we bond families together through exposure and experience. In this video, I'm going to share a personal story about desiring to go fishing with my dad when I was young and finally being able to do so at age 27 to encourage you that it's not too late to create those memories. I'm also going to share a revelation that God gave me as we fish to encourage someone in their waiting season because baby, that big catch that you're waiting for is coming. Lastly, I'm going to share some encouragement for those whose parents aren't physically or emotionally present or who feel like it is too late for them. So be sure to watch this video all the way through to the end for support. But before we get started, if you like this topic or want to stay connected with us, please be sure to like and subscribe. It will help us to be able to help more people just like you. We love you, we thank you, and we hope that you enjoy this video. If you watched my previous video on how God moved me to California or my founder fun fact on how I am a peacemaker, I pretty much talked about how my life was split down the middle. For the first 9 years of my life, I had a stable 2-parent household. My parents were married. Life was great. And around that time, my dad bought my siblings and I fishing poles to take us fishing. I remember me and my sister, one of us had a Bratz one, another one had a Barbie, and I can't remember my brother's, but something tells me it was Spider-Man, but don't quote me. Fast forward, my parents ultimately divorced, and my dad moves away before he can take us fishing. And so our fishing poles are just hanging up in the garage, waiting to be used, but we never got the chance to use them. Now, each summer, my dad would take us on vacation to a different part of Florida. So we would stay at these amazing resort hotels. We would have multi-day passes at Universal and Disney. We would go to water parks like Aquatica. I recently found a family wrap we made in the hotel room a long time ago.
What are we? We are so loyal to each other. I love ya. We are so loyal to each other. I love ya.
All these great memories, but despite all of it, for some reason, a core memory was not being able to go fishing with him. And please don't think I'm ungrateful. Absolutely not. I see and appreciate everything, every sacrifice, every opportunity that my parents have provided me. I'm just saying that two things can be true. I felt grateful for these experiences and for these memories, but I also felt like a memory was missing. As an adult, I would question why out of all things do I remember those fishing poles hanging up? And through healing, I believe that it represented a shift in my life that I suppressed. In other words, it was one of the first memories after my parents' divorce where I had a longing for my parents to get back together, for my dad to come home and take us fishing, but I suppressed it because I couldn't say it. At the time, my parents and siblings are grieving. We're all adjusting to this new transition. So who was I going to share it with? I didn't want my parents to feel guilty. I didn't want to make anyone sad. So I kept it to myself. It was a memory I needed to touch and feel to move forward and heal. Though we eventually went fishing, and I'll share a little bit about that in a little, I want to pause to share that I learned I didn't necessarily need to go fishing in order to feel complete or move forward. To move forward, I needed to heal from that childhood experience, my parents divorcing, and release an expectation I was holding on to. It wasn't about my dad. It was about me and how I responded. This is why healing is for you, because although there may be things in life that happen to us, we control how we respond. We control how we react. We control how long we stay stuck. Healing is a personal choice to overcome and to move forward. Now, I will add that I came to this conclusion without going to therapy. I spent a lot of time with God. I did a lot of deep reflection, and I used a little bit of my bachelor's degree in psychology, but I am a believer in Jesus plus therapy, and I look forward to exploring more of this in therapy soon. But I do think that it's important to highlight, especially for the families that I advocate for, that therapy isn't always affordable or easy. So I'm going to make a video on affordable alternatives to therapy for those that are interested. For now, I'll be a resource and I'll share that I believe we remember shifts in our lives, both positive and negative. We remember those times that made us happy, those times that made us cry, those times that made us grow up a little bit faster. Whether it was a comment from a school or family bully, a fishing pole hanging up in the garage, or something else that you experience, know that it's not too silly, not too dumb, not too small. It matters because your feelings matter. Last year, I had the opportunity to talk to my dad about how I felt, and he apologized. So compared to everything we had done together, he didn't realize that fishing was that important or that not fishing was something I still wanted to do. This is something that made me realize too, sometimes we have to speak up to give people the opportunity to show up for us. I think sometimes we just don't open up, we don't talk, we don't ask for help, we don't share, what's on our minds because we don't want to be disappointed. But if we don't speak up, it's like, how will they know? My dad also opened up and talked about how he wanted to take us fishing because nobody ever took him fishing when he was younger. Y'all, he bought us those fishing poles not even knowing how to fish. He never learned. But he heard that's what dads do, and he wanted to be that dad. Again, if you've seen some of our previous videos, you know that my dad was the original Abraham. He is the original chain breaker in our family. And so I am just so grateful to have him and to have someone that was willing to say, you know what, I'm going to start a new tradition. I may not have had this experience when I was younger, but I want my children to have that experience. Now, if y'all want it, I'll do a separate video on how to prepare to have a healing conversation with your parents, because I feel like both of you need to have the capacity. But I will say that this is why communication is so important. In Biblical Bloodlines Part 2, I use Ishmael to help and encourage those healing from parental abandonment. If you haven't watched it, I'll link it down below. But if you have watched it, you know that I talk about the importance of getting the full story. By having a conversation with my dad, I was able to get a fuller story, allowing me to see his true heart and intentions. I was also able to empathize and see him in a different light. I always saw my dad as a hero, but I got the chance to humanize him and really see how relatable we are. We both desired an experience that we didn't get or we didn't have the opportunity to have. So I said, you know what? We're going to learn together. So I planned a daddy-daughter day and we went to a family fishing workshop. It was a hands-on learning experience where they taught us how to do everything, how to set up and cast out a fishing rod, how to tie a fishing net, y'all, how to properly handle the fish, how to catch it, how to release it. It was amazing.
Go ahead now. You see my technique? Someone, you see my technique? Ooh, look at that. Ooh. Go, Daddy, go. Look at the rod. Oh, yes.
Now, while it was a great experience, I don't know if I could do it again because I felt really bad for the worms or the bait. I love animals from the biggest to the smallest. Sometimes I feel like I'm Eliza Thornberry and I have the ability to speak to them, y'all. I just feel like we are connected. When we were putting them on the hook, oh my gosh, I'm just thinking about it. I could not take seeing them squirm in pain, y'all. Oh my goodness. And my dad, who is so kind and so patient, was trying to help me feel better by referencing the circle of life from one of my favorite all-time movies, The Lion King. Have a tattoo of Simba right here. But he was trying to get me to, it's the circle of life. And I was like, oh no, I can't. I just still felt so bad. Despite hurting the worms, we had a really great time. And like I said, God spoke to me as we were fishing. And I recorded a video around that time that I'll insert here. So it was both of our first times fishing. So if you know anything about fishing, you have to cast it out and then kind of just sit and wait to reel it in. And sometimes the wait could be a long time. I think the first catch that I got was right within 20 minutes, and I was kind of minding my own business, kind of like, and then you just feel the tug. You're like, oh, snap. When I tell you I was reeling it in, y'all, and my wrist was hurting. It was hurting because it was so heavy. It was a catfish. It was so heavy to the point where my very first catch my first catch, it broke the string. I don't know all the language, okay? It was just my first time, but it broke it. And I was like, oh my God. So let me tell you what he told me. You don't know what you're about to catch. What you're about to catch is so big. It's so huge. You can barely hold it, okay? Like I was saying, my wrist was hurting trying to reel that thing in. It was so big and heavy. And so throughout the rest of the fishing trip, I caught some more catfish. And then the very, very, very last one, y'all, was so big. The last one was like the first one. Very, very hard to pull in. It was huge. Even the volunteer fisher that was helping me, she failed trying to help me get it out of the lake or river. It was just huge for all of us. So again, God was just showing me, one, you have to be patient. Just wait. And I promise what you're reeling in is going to be so big. It will come in and blow you away, knock you off of your feet. And it'll be so huge to the point where you can't even hold it. Like, it has to be released. That just made me excited all over again. Y'all, I recorded that video months ago, but I never posted it. And I feel like it was meant for me to post it now because someone needs to be encouraged right now. Something big is coming. Someone's help is coming. Just hold on a little while longer, loved one. I know you're tired, weary. Some of you are even bored waiting for your big catch to come. But let this video be your tug, a way to wake you up and get your attention, a way to jolt you out your seat and get excited because your blessing has latched on. Like Peter, be willing to cast out one more time. Be willing to try again. Get up, but if you say so, Lord, down in your spirit. Listen, your string snapping, net breaking, boat sinking, miracle is coming and it will be worth the wait. So excited, y'all. Oh my God. But now let's wrap up this healing conversation. Maybe you don't have many childhood memories with your parents. Perhaps they divorced, or perhaps you were raised by another family member, or perhaps you all didn't have the money you needed to do the things and create the memories that you wanted. I made this video to encourage you that it's not too late and to remind you that at Healing Households, we do not encourage or condone harmful behavior or push you to remain in contact with harmful family members. Okay? We will only advocate for those with a mutual desire to reconnect and to build and to bond. If the mutual desire is still there, I want to encourage you that God can and will redeem the time and restore to you the memories you thought you lost. He will give you back the time and the memories that you've always wanted to have. So have that conversation. Take that chance. It was healing for me, and now my dad and I have another memory I can cherish forever. I also add, maybe you're like me. You see your parents getting older and you don't feel like you're in a position to give them what they deserve. You love them so much, you want to give them all these experiences, and I say to you also, it's not too late. Do what you can until you can do what you want. Honor them with little until you can honor them with much. And listen to what they want, not just what you want to give them. And this can go both ways. Maybe you want to give them the trip, the house, and the car, but they just want to see you succeed or spend time with you. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to give your parents or children these things or wanting to surprise them. I'm just saying that I think that knowing will take the pressure off a little bit. That's all. Either way, God will bless you because you want to bless them. And in the meantime, I pray that God will increase you and sustain them in good health. If your parents are not physically or emotionally present, you're estranged and reconciliation isn't desired, or getting the full story is not possible, I first want to encourage you to let it out. The disappointment, the way you wish it could have been, the memories you wish you had, the time you can't get back. It's okay to grieve. It's okay to be angry. It's okay to feel. This is what I want you to do. Don't conceal it. Heal it. And to heal it, you have to feel it. And to feel it, you can't avoid it, okay? Then, when you're ready, I want to empower you to take action and fight for your healing. It may be too late for some things, but it's not too late for you to rewrite your story, and it is never too late for you to heal. We know that God is the author of your story. He is writing it. He is delighting in every detail. He is working it all together for your good, but I want to encourage you to meet him halfway. How do you want your story to end for you? Are you going to live your life angry, bitter, and resentful, Mara? Are you going to avoid healing, repeating the same cycles, raising your children in the same conditions and circumstances that you were raised in? Or are you going to rise up and show the enemy that he cannot steal, kill, or destroy you? That yes, those things happened to you, but they didn't stop you. That yes, poverty and family instability may have been how the story started for you, but wealth and longevity and prosperity and stability is how the story ends for you. Again, if your parents are not physically or emotionally present, or creating these memories are not possible, you commit to being the change. You start the tradition. You keep seeking peace and forgiveness. You break the cycle so that you don't bleed on the next generation. And know that you're not alone, okay? God will send you the community, spiritual mothers and fathers and siblings and spouses, even children, to aid you and restore you and be representatives of his love towards you. God is a healer, and he uses people to accomplish his will on earth. So he will send you people to love you back to full health. And when that time comes, I pray that you will be open to receive it. In the meantime, you make the choice to feel and heal for you. All it takes is a decision. You are one choice away from becoming the best version of yourself, the version that you and generations after you have been waiting on. All right, loved ones, that is it for today. If you like this video, please be sure to like, subscribe, and share with someone that you love. Don't forget, if you would like to partner with us or invest into me personally, the ways to give and donate can be found in the description box below. I love you all so much, and I'll talk to you soon.
Yeah.